The brand new Siege Officer is here, and we are going to be doing some testing to see who is better between the three of Futurus, Eye, and the new guy, Yardbird. So, I will be doing another video, guys. Do not worry about a pairing video where it's going to be talking about all the different officers. But right now, we are literally just going to be comparing Eye, Futurus, and Yardbird as a sort of primary sort of example as to how good this new officer is compared to the coexisting best free-to-play option for attacking a base. So, as always, guys, we are going to show you what the standard is, what it already comes in. Now, these bases do not have a max HP on the bases at the moment, so for the next video, that will change. We'll be able to obviously upgrade the units a bit, but as you can see here, we're going to be doing one skill shot of each and then just getting the core result, and then basically we're going to go through with each other option and see just how good this new officer is compared to the previous. So we have already done sort of two. I just wanted to test because previously the actual reports here weren't working properly, but it is look like they are fixed now, so that's great. So if we come in here, we can see the first one done 33.9, the second one 37.4, but if you actually go down into battle data, you can see that the normal attack done this amount, and then the skill shot was 28.3 mil. And now if we go into the next one, although this is a different result, it's actually the same amount of skill damage. It's just there was more normal shots that got taken off. The accuracy is different, so that's why I like to go by the skill damage. We're going to be referencing the skill damage here, but obviously take into consideration this. It is luck at the end of the day. One, it depends on whether or not you shoot more shots, because as we know, there is a skill that allows you to have the chance of shooting or reloading 1 second instead of it being 2 seconds, so you could end up getting more shots off. But also it's down to luck of the accuracy of your shells. That's why I don't like going through the entire damage, because it's random. Like, you could literally have a stronger pairing but have a different result at the end, and the weaker one would be stronger because it got more normal shots off. It's a bit skewed, so we will talk about both, but we're primarily focused on the 28.3 mil. And here's the attack we just done now. As you can see, this is 40. We go in and check the battle data, 28.3 mil. So we've just done the exact same attack all over and got 3 different results. That's why it's best to go over the stuff that you know is 100% accurate, being the skill damage. It is 28.3 mil every single time. Now, yes, we will take it into consideration, but on an average, guys, you can see over the 2 or over the 3 attacks, we've got 33, so 34 mil, we done 37.5 mil, and then we done 40 mil. So anywhere between that range, but 28.3 mil is the sort of band-aid we're going to go from, which was the previous best option. Now, we're going to try the Yardbird with Eye, and then we're going to try Yardbird with Futurus. We're going to try all 3 combinations and just see how strong it is. I am personally assuming that he is going to be a little bit stronger than Futurus, but at the same time, I've heard a lot of speculation that he isn't as strong. So we will test out and we'll see if that is the case, because his coefficient is definitely higher, but is that coefficient higher increase enough to make a big difference? I don't know. Also, it would also make a difference if you're pre-charging your Howie, because as you know, the more shots you do, the more he charges. So the main question for me, guys, is do you reckon that the coefficient is obviously 2,400 here, but do you reckon the damage intensity of 32% is enough to really boost this guy over the top? And I mean, that's something we're going to find out here very soon. So obviously the first attacks come through. We are going to do 3 attacks like before, just so we have a more accurate sort of representation. The battle report is in, so let's quickly do another attack here. Now, as I mentioned, all these units are just level 1. They've got nothing on except the officer, as you can tell by the fact that they're only 12.4 mil. Now, the reason I've done this is, as you can see, we're already taking chunks out of this base, and we just don't have the walls leveled up. So I have asked them to max out my walls for me, and we'll get all that done so that we can do a proper testing when it comes to using loads of officers, because otherwise we'll end up destroying the base and the video will have to be cut in half or something. So with that being said, we're going to be doing one more going through here. So let's quickly speed this up and we'll get into the reports. So let's take a little dive in and have a look at what we're looking at. So far we are seeing much smaller results, but also a different variety. So here we go. We've got the first one here at 30 mil. Now, if we go into the battle data, we can see 25.3 mil on the first one. We could go down to this second one here and we go to the battle data, 25.3 mil. And then finally, on the final one, let's take a look at the bottom. And here it is, guys, 22.7. So I'm assuming we didn't get as many shots off on that last one. So that is a really big difference, if you asked me. Because honestly, if it's a Gen 5 officer, I would assume it should be able to at least do something, which is kind of crazy to me that it's not anywhere near as strong as the previous one, which is honestly quite a long time ago. I do remember, though, that these level 1s don't move, so I've got to quickly get them into place. But yeah, I think it's kind of crazy so far. It seems to me that they're not that strong, and I think it's kind of important that we do hopefully get to the bottom of why this is. Now, do you need to pre-charge it? That is definitely something we're going to look into. So let me quickly try and get us a unit here. I'm just trying to drag this over so I can pre-charge the Howie to see if it makes a massive difference, because I'm assuming it might do, but I'm not 100% sure. But none of these smaller ones move, and I can't target a bigger one until we kill these smaller ones. So it's kind of annoying if you ask me personally, but I'll be right back with you once we get it pre-charged. Okay, so here we are, guys. We are now going to get this unit pre-charged so that we can see if it really makes a difference with the fact that every shot that goes off, the coefficient gets higher. This is going to be a much easier and more beneficial test to see whether or not it's going to be more powerful. So let's quickly do this attack here. The first shot's going to instantly come in. There's the second shot now, and then the third shot coming in before the skill shots go off, meaning he is now dealing the most amount of possible damage. Let's see if that is a big difference. I generally don't know. Obviously, we are going to have to do this 3 times, so I'm going to quickly go ahead and get ourselves another pre-charge, and we'll quickly come through with the results at the end of it. So I've just done 2 attacks, but on this third and final attack, I kind of wanted to show you guys something I'm noticing as well, that he's not always getting 3 shots off, which means that it's only going to be more efficient in the long run, I feel. So let's quickly take a look here. The first shot comes in instantly, boom, but then it's like 3 seconds, and then normally it's around 3 seconds again, so we're only getting 2 shots off. We're not getting that third shot off, which means he's not dealing as much damage as he potentially could be dealing. So we do need to take that into consideration. We're going to take a look here. The first attack, I actually messed up, by the way. It ended up lasting for 1 minute and 37 seconds. We're going to discard this one, and then we're going to go straight into this one, which was the one you saw. Now, it is at 41.1, and it's 24 seconds. So we go in here now, and we can see the battle data is 26.3 mil. So it is now better than before because we pre-charged and got an extra shot on. Now, bearing in mind, in both of these attacks, I noticed it only got 2 shots off. Potentially on the middle attack, which is the next one, it might have been different. So here, 38.2, I doubt it was different. They kind of went off at the same time. Oh no, it did go off differently. So 30.2 mil. Now, the final attack you just witnessed there when I was talking, 41.1 mil again. So exactly the same, but is it the same damage here? We go into the battle data, 26.3. So here is the actual proof that he is actually better than Futurus. Now, I've seen videos already saying that he's not better, and you would think from this, first attack we done here being 28 mil that he's not better. It's 22.7. But that's because this is only when hitting at 2 shots, not when hitting at 3 shots. So we need to take a look right now at the different skills between Futurus and the new guy. So the new guy here, it is standard at 1800 coefficient, and whenever this officer's troop is hitting the same target repeatedly, it increases the skill damage coefficient by 25% per strike, stacking up to 3 times. So the way we need to basically break this down is I have already officially asked them to clarify how this works, and the devs have got back to me and said the first shot, if you end up hitting 1 shot, you now are dealing 2250 coefficient. The second shot means you'll then be dealing 2700 coefficient, and by the third time, if you've hit 3 shots or more, because obviously it stacks up 3 times, if you've hit 3 shots on a base, it will then go up to 3150, because as we know, 25% of 1800 is 450. So every shot you do adds 450 on. I've already clarified that with the devs, and that is the numbers they have gave us. So we now need to take a look at Futurus. With Futurus, he does 2000 standard, and if attacking an enemy fortification, he does an extra 400. So he deals 2400 coefficient, meaning that the new guy is weaker if he only gets one shot off in that time. So this shows that if you get one shot off, you are going to be doing less. If you get two shots off, you would think that the coefficient is slightly more, so you should be doing more damage, but that also depends on the other skills. Now, as we know, Futurus has a 32% damage to fortifications, so that is helping him to maintain that higher breach. But as you've noticed, if Yardbird gets all three shots off before hitting a base, he will in fact do more coefficient in the long run, because that 3100 beats all of Futurus' skills put together, along with Yardbird's skills, of course. So we've just discovered that technically Yardbird is stronger if he gets all three shots off. Now we'll see who is stronger out of Futurus and having Eye there instead. So let's check out this new setup. We are going to be doing the exact same thing, guys. I will do 3 attacks non-upgraded, just to sort of have a look to see what the difference is. So we're not going to pre-charge him. So you see how it's 4 seconds? It shoots 3 seconds. It shoots at the same time. So the reason for that is obviously Futurus's 1 second cooldown is only after the skill goes off, which means unlike Eye, it's only going to be 7 seconds on that first one. So I'm pretty sure the second shot came in at 7 seconds with the skill shot. I don't know if that's going to count towards it or not, because if they're both shooting the skill and the normal at the same time, I don't know what one would have triggered first in that instant. But long story short, guys, obviously when you're not pre-charged, if you don't get that to trigger with the 1 second cooldown, you're definitely not going to get that second or even the third off at all. So we're going to wait for the battle report to come through. So that's the first one. Now let's quickly do another one. Again, this is going to be 3 that I'm doing without pre-charging, and I'll do 3 more after pre-charging. So we see there we get the shot off and the skills off. We'll pull back. And obviously, we're already over halfway HP, and we're only doing these 3 officers in this video. And already, this is probably a long video, guys, but I just wanted to make sure everyone is understanding how the skills work. I didn't just want to do, you know, a couple of shots with each officer, and that's it. I wanted to deep dive and hope that you guys can understand exactly where and how these numbers are getting to the state in which they are. So we're going to wait for that second one to come through. Let's quickly speed through the last one, and we'll get into the information. So let's quickly take a dive here into the actual results. So the first one came in at 39.7, and let's take a look here. It was 21.7 on the skill shot. So again, Eye really does boost with his awakened skill. Now let's take a look here at the next one, 26.9, which again 21.7, and I'm assuming this will probably be the same result here at 21.7. Yeah, so again, nowhere near as strong as Yardbird with Eye, but let's obviously see. I have already pre-charged this Howie. Let's quickly do one attack here to see that that first shot comes off. After 3 seconds, we get that next shot off. After 3 seconds, we get another shot off. But is it in time for those skill shots? Because again, it's very unlucky. None of those came in early. All of them were at 3 seconds, meaning that potentially we only got 2 shots off before that third one to register. So let's try and do this again. Obviously, we're going to try and speed through this as quick as we can, because I know this video is already getting a little bit longer than you would expect for just 3 officers. Let's speed through the last 2, and then we'll get into the information. So while we're waiting for these battle reports to come in, there is one thing I do want to mention as well. Now, with the testing here that I'm doing now, our base HPs are only 778 mil across the board. Both of the accounts only have that same damage. If I show you here, they have 778 mil because they haven't been upgraded yet. So what you are understanding as well is one of the skills from the new Yardbird here shows that for every 100 mil, you get 1% damage intensity. Meaning right now on this base, I'm only gaining an extra 7% damage intensity, which means I'm only getting 27%. So that's one thing to take in mind. Obviously, the stronger the base you're attacking, the stronger he's going to get. So again, we're only going to be getting a little bit of extra damage here. Compared to the normal fights, you'd probably be getting a lot more, upwards to 30% extra instead of 7%. So that is definitely one thing to take into consideration too. Whereas Futurus and that, they just deal the damage they deal depending on your unit onto the base, and depends on the base's damage resistance stuff. So with that being said, let's quickly take a deep dive into it. So we got the 3 results here. I did end up doing one more mess up, so we went through and done all 3 again. So the first one here came in at 30.9, and the actual battle result was 22.8. Very not that good at all. 30.8 again, and if we go in here, 22.7. And the final one was 36.7, and that came in at a total of 22.7. Meaning that overall, guys, obviously, this guy is going to be better with Eye at that full max capacity. And Futurus himself is, of course, still going to be very useful. So I will be doing another video where I break down all the different combinations. I need bigger base HP to do it. I wasn't going to be able to do it with this base HP because they would just die too quick. And as I mentioned, my units are level 1. My units have no modification, no parts, no nothing. They're just 9.2 level 1. And already, just in this small testing, we've already killed the base. So I need maxed out base HP so that I can get much better and more accurate results. I could do more tests, longer tests and stuff like that. But one thing I do want you to take into consideration, guys, is although it might not seem that this new guy, wow, he's Gen 5, you know, he's really not that impressive compared to Futurus and Eye, for example. Compare Futurus and Eye to any other free-to-play officer. We're not including the big boys now. Any free-to-play officer that the average artillery main person has when attacking a base. Most people still use, for example, Stinger, Flame, Lady Shadow. Maybe they use Antonina still. Maybe they're lucky enough to have finally awakened Lady Liberty. But if you think of it this way, Futurus and Eye are already miles better than all of them when it comes to attacking a base. This officer is just as good. So one thing I need you to take into consideration, he might not be exceptionally overpowered, but compared to all of the other officers you had before when it comes to attacking a base, he is overpowered compared to them because he's just as good as what we already have. Now, again, I wish that this new guy was a little bit stronger, but maybe he will be once we have more base HP added, and we'll obviously see a big difference at that stage. So again, I'm going to be working on that video. It's going to be coming out very soon. We are going to be doing a big test video. So make sure if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you do want to stay up to date to see when that testing video drops. I'm hoping by next week it will be out, but obviously it's going to be a very in-depth video, a very long video, and I'm going to be going through and basically giving you guys the core results of all relevant officers when it comes to attacking a base put together, and to see what is the best combination, whether it be a free-to-play option or a paid and the spenders option as well. So I hope you all have a beautiful day. I really do appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit the like button on this, and hopefully I'll see you in that next video. Take care, everyone.